The RTS Next Fest on Steam has just finished, and ZeroSpace's demo got into the hands of many players, including myself, over the last couple of weeks. And I've been enjoying the game to a very high degree, but that got me wondering, what does high-level ZeroSpace actually look like at the moment? I haven't actually had much of an opportunity to look at that. Well, today I managed to get a VOD for you today between the number 1 ranked player on the ladder, Bosse, and the number 4 ranked player on the ladder. So, before we get into the game, for those of you who haven't seen my channel before, what I like to do is I like to give you a little bit of context into the games beforehand, talking a bit about the players and a bit about what we're going to see. If you're not interested in that, you want to hop straight to the game, there is a timestamp in the description and you can just skip straight to it. If you want to stick around for the contest, well, here we go. So, our 2 players are the rank 1 on the ladder right now, who is Bosse. Bosse, if you are someone who has watched me for Stormgate before, you might recognise this name, because they've won a couple of the tank series here and there. They are a high-level StarCraft 2 player who's come into the RTS space and has really committed himself to some of the new games, and has been performing very, very consistently in ZeroSpace and in Stormgate. The other player we're seeing is a player called Adagramus. Now, Adagramus, I believe, has some other tags that he goes by, but he is a high-level SC2 player who has competed against and taken sets on other StarCraft 2 players, for example, like Mana, he went 3-2 against in a recent tournament. He hasn't had any extreme standout performances yet, but sitting at rank 4 on the ladder in ZeroSpace means that he has a pretty strong showing so far, and we hope to see more from him in the future. Otherwise, the only other bit of information I really can give you going into this set is that it is a best of 5 set, and that it was between Bosse playing as the Grell, which is the sort of Zerg-like, swarm-like race in ZeroSpace. If you want to see more details on them, I did a video on what makes ZeroSpace different, where I dove into each of the factions in a bit more detail, so you can go check out that video for a bit more details. On the other hand, Adagramus is playing Legion, which is the, I would describe them more as a sort of Warhammer-esque race. They feel very just Warhammer, sort of stylings, I guess is how I describe them. With lots of very big units that are very powerful and lots of very cheap units. They have a real mix of the two. Otherwise, you'll see a big focus today on the mercenary factions that go into it. The Arandi are one of the 5 mercenary factions that you can choose, and we're going to see particular usage of one particular unit from the Arandi who, have some very unique and powerful units. I won't give you any more spoilers than that, but yeah, that's everything. With that, I'll hand it over to Ollie, who has been doing the casting. Here you go. I don't know why I pointed over here. It's like, it's not going to be here. Fade to black. Woo! Alright. Welcome to this best of 3 series. Our 2 players spawning in the pink. Currently number 1 rank on the ladder. It is Bosse playing as the Grell. Spawning in with his Perfect Aster hero. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, currently number 4 on the ladder, playing as the Legion. So yeah, we have a Perfect Aster, and we have our Legion-specific sniper hero, Kragar, here, spawning in with his little saber-tooth pet that he has. Yeah, so let's look at it. They're looking at the map. Let's look at Ascension. So Ascension is a map with 3 control towers, each of them having these little spiderlings on it. Spiderlings are worth 5 hexite per kill. I think the whole camp in total is worth 50. Little attack speed boost here. Are we going to see a kill coming out from either hero? Nope, neither hero killed. These control towers that are at the center of the map give you XP and talent towards XP towards talent. So you see talents are in this little section down here. They are global benefits to your faction, so they're very important to get. You do get some passively without having any of the towers, but having control of these towers gives you that extra XP. It also gives you vision in the area around it. So if I go to Bosse's view, you'll see that if I go to Bosse right now, once he captures one of these towers, should be able to see the sight that he will have. I'll go back to that in a sec. So yeah, going to capture it up here. Bosse gets that tower captured, and you can start to see the additional vision that is being provided by that tower. It's not massive, but it is useful, and obviously having control, Sabertooth is going to get sniped there. Perfect Aster's shield nearly fully down. Now, the problem with Adagramus' Legion choice of hero here is he doesn't actually have that much ability to escape. Perfect Aster does have an escape, a dash, but Adagramus does not. See, oh, good snipe there. Gets a big pick off on it here. Alright, we're going to see that Grell mechanic already coming in. We have this. This is the Arandi Horned Mech. This is a mercenary unit. They have a mobile base, which is where their abilities are deployed from. This is the normal Arandi Horned Mech. It is a mech which deploys and does damage in an A line. It's a very slow projectile, but it does damage all the way through its traveling. Grell also have a mechanic which evolves the unit, making it larger and stronger. You can see the difference between this one having 350 health and this one having 525. So that's a little buff that you get that uses global energy coming from the boss. And this is what the boss likes to do. He likes to take these Arandi mothership out, get these horned mechs up as early as possible, because look at the damage they do, and get those evolved as early as possible. Adagramus is trying to deny as much time as possible on these camps, and you can already see these stingers. This is where the big contention comes on these maps. Control towers, so valuable, giving that hero XP. You can already see talents from both players already getting one up. One being contested up here at the top. One stinger will not be able to hold it off, but there's a decent portion of the army. More of these Arandi horned mechs starting to move around. The range is quite large, actually. Dash in with the Sabertooth. The Sabertooth is quite low. Managed to get a good pick off on that, and that's a lot of the front line gone. Perfect Aster dropping down this turret. Turret quite tanky. Oh, it's so hard to dodge. I mean, these projectiles are easy to dodge when there's only one of them, but when there's like 5 or 6 of them, so much harder. Combine that with Perfect Aster's ability for his Q to stun enemies, means that you just lose that dodging capability. So, Adagramus is going in for the Valkyries, Valkyries, cheapest minions are these 250 Hellhounds. Very tanky, so they cost 250, they have 350 health. And they are deployed from this mercenary base here, so this is the mercenary that Adagramus has gone for. So when you spawn into any of these games, you can choose which of the mercenaries you go for before going into the game. Both players can see it. Bosse going for the Arandi seems to really like these. Whereas Bosse has gone for the Valkyrie. These are the ones I go for a lot. I like these guys a lot. These Hellhounds are really just tanky and annoying. You see both players up to 3 bases right now. These are how resources are generated. Got a bit of a spike poking backwards and forwards. So these bases, they spawn up and they spawn these extractors where they mine. And over time, these Hexite nodes will get picked up and be built up by it. So Legion's army coming into a lot of these sort of ranged thralls. They're very cheap. They're very easy. I think 2 of them spawn at a time. I'm not sure what these harvesters are doing, I'll be honest. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, we see this large number of Arandi mech poking and prodding around, trying to contest these maps. All of the towers are in favor of Bosse, but in the background he's managed to catch one over here, and we get a good surround on these Arandi mechs. Gets the picks off. The AoE only effective in a line, and if your units are spread as the way that Adagramus has got here, you will be able to get a good pick off here. Now these are evolved Arandi mechs as well, so if they get picked off, which 3 out of 4 of them have, are we going to get a 4th one also picked off? Good snipe there, managed to get it down. It's on 13 health. 8! 3 does get fully picked off. That's a huge amount of resources gone. Both in terms of investment, because you get cooldowns on these as well, so you can't deploy these just instantly if you have the resources. It's just about the cooldown as well. But not only that, they're also the energy that he's invested from his top bar ability. Energy-wise, though, or resource-wise, he's not in a terrible position. You can see the income right now. If we look at income between the 2 players, it's pretty even. Harvesters, it's very ahead for Bosse right now. But mainly the Legion's a bit slow in getting themselves built up and quick, because they have to... the Legion builds smaller workers that are produced faster, but you have to build more of them. You have to build 15 in order to get to the same quantity, whereas Grell and Protectorate only have to get to 5. But, you know, that just means they have a slower pace of getting up. It means they can reproduce from their bases at a slower rate. You see, this towers are all of the contesting. Bosse trying to contest this one on the south side. He's getting these nourishment pods, so this is healing aura getting additional. The healing is not huge, but you can see that it is very slowly ticking up. You're getting a large number of these posts down, and this army is starting to dwindle. We saw the supply favor go from 60 down to 50 on both sides. Bosse managing to resupply very quickly. It was down as low as 24 resources earlier, or 24 supply earlier at this point of the game. We do see a 4th base starting to be established by Adagramus right now. Bosse taking a poke up here, trying to see if there's a 4th base over here, because this is where your standard for 4th or 5th would be. But no sign of it yet. Hasn't been able to confirm it yet. Manages to contest this one yet again. So annoying. The 2 players poking back and forwards. Big number of stingers down here now. We've got the start of the Time Warper. The Time Warper is a Aradni mercenary unit which can affect an entire range, making all units attack and move slower, I believe, in a little radius, so you'll see that deploy. We'll look here, we have an evolved Thresher. Threshers can deploy. We're getting that one evolved as well, so that's the little evolve animation. You'll see it'll deploy with more health when it comes out. Legion making a contestation here, trying to make a poke in. That's the Cavalax. Big boulder, so they have a huge range. So the Legion are able to get 3 heroes, so he's got all 3 heroes up. Cavalax, the one with the big axe here, is the one that throws that big fireball, does a huge amount of damage, eventually can be exploded into it. Tobart getting his laser down. This is another one of the mercenary units. It's the Guardian Obelisk, a little ranged tower, and that's Cultivators. These are the ranged towers of the Grell. Just the ranged towers of the... Oh, he picks off the mercenary depot there. That's actually pretty big. Base down here was trying to be established, is going to get immediately picked off, though. He does already have this 4th base established up here. Meanwhile, Bosse hasn't moved on from 3 bases. He's still on 3. But having said that, the supply differential is huge right now. 130 supply to 90. We have got a Terror Tank already being deployed. We've already got one of those turrets deployed. A second one is starting to be constructed. Shield unit has come online just at the start of this fight, which is a good state. Fireball comes down. We can see the spread's really good. All the Threshers Reavers are making a huge push down here. Supply is starting to drop on both sides as those Legion units do start to get picked off, but the Grell units are also starting to fall. Terror Tank is still up, but it's starting to drop. This big ranged Thresher launching a huge amount of damage. That big Legion tank, Terror Tank, is going to get picked off, as it looks like the supply and that army of Adagramus has been mostly defeated. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Bosse is just rallying reinforcements and using the bit that's left of this army to be able to do so. So Fireball coming in, going to get a big hit. You'll see this will explode in an area, doing damage down. That's going to pick off quite a few. They're picking off like 6 or 7 there. Trying to get a denial on this Reaver that's building it here, but 1,000 health makes them so tanky. Look at them. Huge, huge creatures. And this is how the Grell sort of approaches. They have this sort of... It's a weird mix between, like, the Terran with their siege tanks and the Zergs with their swarm-like creatures and the ability to push things like Reavers with their huge... It's basically making Ultralisk good units because they're less big but more damage. And even more health, which is crazy. 1,000 health is a crazy amount of health. I mean, look at this. This is a building. This is 700. Like, if I find a main base has 2,000, so it should give you a context for how much damage it has. See a bit of a surround getting on here, though. So managed to get it. Love the replay mode of this. Look at the charges coming in. Managed to get some good avoids. Make some big picks off here. That slow field coming down by the Aradni control node here. He's getting chased down. As this isn't really leaving him with a lot of escape paths. There's an escape path up here, up to the north, which he's going to try and reach. He drops down that Valku Beast. That Valku Beast is that top bar ability by the Valraku, which drops a big beast down, which you can fight. So he's going to try and turn here, trying to get a kill on a couple of them. We see one of the two heroes dropping, and a huge surround is going to get this, and this entire army is going to get picked off. So that full Watson is here, and that is a GG game number 2 of this little series. Boss currently 1-0 up in the series. We are on Star Sand. Star Sand is a pretty standard map. 3 control towers across the map. Rich nodes here at the center, which will spawn in. You can see the little countdown there. And the question is, are we going to see any change in mercenaries or heroes? I don't think we are. I think both were pretty actually happy with how that went. Perfect Asta heading out, heading to the center of the map. He's going to be able to get there faster. Only narrowly, though. Big shot off, manages to kill a couple of things there. Big snipe off from both players. Does manage to get picked off, and there he goes. Managed to deny that control tower early for both players. And they're going to have this poke back and forth. Second base starting to go up, I assume, by both players. Actually, Boss not going for that quite yet. I actually don't know what the Grell's build order is. Okay, so he's going straight into the Arandi mothership, which he has been favouring. He's been loving going for these terror tanks and then trying to... Not terror tanks, these horned ships, and trying to get them pushed down as early as possible. This is a little seedling. These are the little constructors for the Grell. See, both players right now have just decided to go and take their respective towers on their side of the map. It's that root colony. It's going to start building up that base as early as possible. So yeah, this is how bases are constructed in this game. They sort of plop them down at the moment. They get warped in or constructed. At the moment, Grell have these little seedling constructors. Protectorate have these little flying units that can be deployed. Legion, they just warp theirs in. These bases talk a little bit about resources. So they got Hexite. Hexite is mined from these nodes, and these nodes will just get automatically built. So you can see the little bar building up when that gets filled, one of these extractors, and you'll start getting more income and economy. Your base naturally spawns in with 5 of these. One of these is like half constructed at the beginning of the game, so you can see one's been constructed. Similar down here, obviously that'll start getting constructed on the other side. Hexite is the other, or Flux is the other big deposit. We see we've got a bit of a poke going on down here. We can already start to see these Arandi horned mech. One of them immediately evolved, getting that 500 health really early, and having AoE makes them very effective against light, small units at the beginning of this game. Valkyrie Shot Troopers, they have little AoEs as well, so you can see their little guns explode. One of the heroes gone down. A big stun goes down. Is the other one going to go? Yeah, that's both of them gone. This is not a great position right now for Adagramus. Adagramus. He's going to get deployed down at another barracks. This Arandi mothership already there. Going to try and make pokes down. That turret coming down already. Tries to get a stun off on it. Manages to avoid it. Continues to make a poke around. A couple of these Legion troopers are going to come out here. Looks like one of these supply barracks is going to fall. If he loses this mercenary hut, this could be even more inconvenient for him. Take a real poke to try and get it down. Heroes are going to respawn back in, so both of them are capable of doing so, and this is where he's going to try and push in now. He's going to be able to clear out the turret, take a snipe on the Arandi Warhorn, going to try and dive on them. Numbers are severely reduced. Oh, these shades. The Arandi shades are really scary little melee units. You'll see the damage they do. Look at how much damage they do. These units can also phase through other units. Oh, we're going to get the Bite. The Bite manages to crunch them in, so the Grell units are going to grab these. These will all be warped all the way home. Meanwhile, Shades try to make a poke in. They have managed to sort of deny that third base's immediate Hexite mining, which is kind of what you need. Meanwhile, Boss has been able to get up his own third base in the meanwhile. And this entire time, I think it's really important to note, he's had control of all of these control towers right now, so you can already see the talent difference. Boss already opting for that second talent because he's had more XP this entire time. So yeah, as I was saying about Flux, Flux is spawned in from these little nodes. You're limited by the number of harvesters that you can have, so Legion They have these little miners. They can get up to 15 of them, and they all produce 0.7 flux per second. Meanwhile, the Grell and the Protectorate, they are very similar in the harvesting collection. They have these little harvesters that just go to their nodes. They can only get 5 of them. Once they're killed, they respawn back in. That happens for both players. Once you build them, that's it, they're done. So mainly harassment starts to be around these focal points, and these focal points are all over the map. We can already see that Boss is collecting from one of these rich nodes. One of these rich nodes here are more in dangerous positions. They spawn in the center of the map. They also can be mined out a lot quicker. And you can see that they harvest at pretty much double the rate. And yeah, these harvesters, so Boss already starting to get a lot more. You can already start to see that harvester differential and flux appearing from both players. Look at it, 400 to 120 at the moment, even if Hexite income is roughly the same and Extractor's income is roughly the same. Take a look at the resources across the map. We're already starting to see these continued evolution of these Randy Hornbacks, getting them up into 500 health monstrosities. Already got a Cultivator Attacker here. These Cultivator Attackers are little nodes. They deploy grass around them, but they also are little turrets. Quite high damage turrets, to be honest, for their price. Try and see if he can make a poke. Get any bit of damage on right now. Supply is looking extremely even, though, at this point of the game, though, for what's gone on. See a large number of Legion troops coming down here, trying to take a pick off on here. Launch on it here. Sees a decent number of the Legion troops are out of range. Knows there's an opportunity. Drops down that turret. Look at that spread formation. This is one of the beauty of that sort of drag formation that ZeroSpace has. Allows you to spread out your troops a lot more efficiently. Drops down that Varuku Beast. This big, huge 1,000 health creature bombs around. Vaku Beasts are focusing on that rather than focusing on the Legion troops, allowing the rest of the damage to be done. That big explosion at the end means the big amount of kills here. I mean, the damage hasn't been huge. Supplies are relatively even still. But he's managed to push it back. He didn't lose any of the Horned Mechs, which is a key point here. More importantly as well, Adagramus managed to keep... oh my god, I gotta say that name. Adagramus managed to keep up that Valkaru Beast up. So he is able to keep it walking. This isn't like a neutral thing that you plop down and you don't get to control. Managed to stay alive. We'll take a look at that income resources. You see that's differential and the extractor is there. Resource. Oh, we can look at. Oh my god, we can look at all of this. Look at units lost at the moment. So much in favor of Boss right now. Big Flame Nova. Has he got the explosion at the end yet? No, he hasn't. So that's a research upgrade that he can get later. It does a little explosion at the end of it. It does damage in an area around it. He's going to get that deployment of the Time Warper. Time Warper here, dropping it. You can see it's slowing in an entire area around here. Slows movement. Can't remember if it slows attack speed as well. Show off these horned mechs though. So scary. See, the Legions have got his 3 heroes up. So he's got this. The Inquisitress is a melee fighter. Got a bit of a slap in front of them. Just a very solid frontline hero. Gavalax is a big spellcaster. Has that burning fireball. Also has the ability to drop down some healing in an area around him. And the main one, Kriegar, we're seeing at the moment. A sniper. Has more support stuff, really. 4th base being established by both players. It's interesting seeing the shape. Boss has gone for a much more standard shape, whereas Adagramus has gone for this sort of long, stretching thing. Normally you'd go 1, 2, 3, but instead he's gone for this sort of concave. So he's going to try and take this opportunity to pick off some of the cultivators here. This makes this special spot, but look at the surround. Number of units coming in from the top. He has
successfully identified that this flank is a bit weaker. There's only a couple of lashes, so he has been able to just push through it. But the big wall, this single unit is getting caught off. They got caught on each other there, and I think he is going to lose Gavlax there. One of the two units does go down. One of the two heroes does go down. Unfortunate getting caught there, but let's look at the supply differential right now. 68 supply to 140. Time Warper comes down, dropping more of these Time Warpers across the area. Huge Pickoff is going to try and deny what is this effect, this fifth base for it. You can already see these Threshers. They drop this big sort of ooh, damn. Like, I'm not going to quite kill it, but does certainly do a lot of damage to it. Deployment by the Threshers, really scary. Sort of ranged siege unit, does damage in an area. Supply gets a good launch on, manages to get a stun on a couple of them there. Spread comes out, Thresher's going to start charging through. One of the heroes is sent back to base. This one at the back is currently stuck. Fireball coming down, nukes coming down. This is the power of the Legion, is they have these abilities, and that is a huge amount of supply killed on both sides. Reaver's going to take a dash in on Gavlax. Gavlax is going to be picked off. Base starts to fall. The Karu Beast here is starting to die. Both heroes go down. More of these shock troopers are going to be able to make a recovery here. It's 60 supply to 150 right now. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to hold on. Don't get me wrong, the Legion can fight on lower supply compared to the Grell. But this is a huge differential. Base is going to get picked off. Altar going to get picked off as well. Current Legions deploying in an unfortunate spot are immediately going to die to the slaughter. This double Thresher here, the Orandi Mothership also able to get that reinforcement off into it. Shot 3 more of these motherships come in, and big drop down Tree of Life ability, which is going to give a bunch of additional healing into this attack. Second base is going to fall, and I think this game is all but over. Pickoff does nearly pick off the hero there, but this attack is so strong. We've seen a number of resources, 40 to 200 here. This is a GG. I don't know what's going on here and why there are so many bodies. Brilliant. And there is your GG. Alright, let's get into game number 3 in this best of 5 series. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, our green Legion player, it is Adagramus. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, our blue Grell, it is Bosse. So we see a pretty similar start to every other game. Heroes rushing out to the center of the map, attempting to try and get to this camp as early as possible. Adagramus actually getting there earlier for once. Snipe is going to be able to pick up. Oh, we picked up quite a lot of them there. Look at the resources there. You can see. It's hard to tell, actually, who got that. Pretty sure Adagramus got the majority of that singular camp here. It's interesting them both going for the same camp here. Normally, players traditionally would go for the one nearer them first. Bosse attempting to sort of contest the camp on both sides. Now, these sort of trades, Adagramus is happy to take these. Bosse is happy to take these because he's got this biomass healing. He's got this ability to heal up. So these trades for health are absolutely fine for him. Legion does have some healing of its own, and particularly this hero has its own healing. But it's not loads. Certainly not compared to the shield and health abilities that Bosse has playing here with the Perfect Aster. Gets a snipe, gets a good stun there, manages to avoid getting both units stunned. His main hero is going to get picked off here though. Tries to use that speed boost upgrade to get over there, and Perfect Aster having the ability to dash though. Gets on top of it. And does mean a bit of map control is going to be lost for him right now. Already start to see these Orandi Mothership come out on the map, but the Horned Mech come out. 2 of them immediately being deployed, giving him pretty much just insistent map control. 1 of them already evolved as well. Both towers taken. Valkyrie Mercenary Outpost is up. Second base is up. No second base out of Boss yet. Boss is currently trying to get one deployed. Third base has started to be deployed here, and I think it is going to get pretty much denied right now. Tries to get a good snipe off. That turret is already down. Randy Mothership right on top of it. A couple of lashes sitting on top of it are going to be... Sorry, Stingers. Can I get a couple of picks off here? Takes a big snipe off it. If he drops that evolve onto it, he gets that health. We'll be fine. Legion units diving on top of these units. Good stun. Still trying to establish this third base. I'm actually surprised he hasn't given up on it yet. How is that Perfect Aster alive? He literally has 1 health. I do not know how we got away with it there. Turret still alive. Perfect Aster's biomass healing and shields getting it. The deploy of the Orandi Mothership getting another 2 horned mechs down. Is Hero going to get picked off as well? Oh, no, not quite. So scary, one of them getting deployed, getting involved into it. Tries to get a pick off on it. Already putting pressure on Boss, wanting to win this series comfortably. Valku Beast deploying. Gets a huge stun on by the Perfect Aster there. One of them already falling, a second one is going to go down. It's the power of these Arandi mechs. They're just so strong. They've been able to manage to get the surround fully on one of them. 2 do fall. We have 1 more remaining. Perfect Aster is going to get picked off as well, and the last of the Arandi mech here is going to get picked off potentially. But this turret here is still actually doing quite a lot of damage on its own. The Arandi mech has 75 health, and the 2 Vacu Beasts are actually focusing down the turrets. Legion turrets, troopers do get deployed. 14, 5, 4, 1 does get picked off. Manages to clean up this fight, actually, but the entire time, Boss has been able to get himself third base all set up and established. Now, he did lose a lot, do not get me wrong. He lost his mercenary outpost as well. So to get any reconstruction of those units is going to be quite a lot. Oh, we actually didn't lose it, it's here. So it was just escaping. More of those deployed, immediately getting them evolved. Going to be able to pick off all of these little bulky spiderlings. They're the things from the control towers. Trying to get it at Adagramus, trying to take these control towers back. Wants to get his first talent up himself. Or his second talent, sorry. To not have that is a bit unfortunate right now. Talents, at this point of the game, I mean, Boss has an additional harvester on him, so if we look at the income, you can just see that difference. Look at the huge difference. 800 flux. Ooh, 800 flux to 1,000 is a wild, wild amount. He's able to work with so much, and I mean, he's got a supply. Look at him, 500 flux right now. That is just the power of these Arandi. Starting to get those sort of Legion forces increased. Established a third base comes out. This third base does give you pretty nice safe access to this harvester flux node over here. The mothership coming in. He's going to try and take a couple of snipes in it. Ay, ay, ay. Good spread on the forces here. Kind of get to avoid getting shot by these mechs. Big fight comes down here. Turret gets dropped down by it. No heroes really here, and the huge number of Legion troops. Those Legion troopers are very brittle, and they have got immediately broken down. Vaku's getting picked off. Big stun comes in here from Perfect Aster. Hero gets picked off as well. None of these Arandi have actually fallen yet. In fact, many of them haven't even taken any damage, and that entire army is getting blitzed.
pushing into this third base, and the number of reinforcements getting in. You can see the number of stingers and lashes sort of reinforcing, retreating down to this nourishing pod, and you can see how quickly these nourishing pods heal nearby units. Additional evolutions coming in on top of it. Look at the construction right now. Oh my god. Cultivated attackers, root colony attackers, just spreading everywhere, making it as impossible as hell for Adagramus to make any progress on the map. Basically securing this node for himself, starting to take the one down here as well. This one getting contested, or has taken, sorry, by Bosse, and Adagramus trying to contest it here. You can see a single lash is going to come in. Lashes are quite high damage for what they are. Thralls, on the other hand, smaller. Big poke comes in, and I don't know. Adagramus has enough to hold this here. Hero spawns in, so that's the second of the hero. But it's already on a significantly low portion of that health. Trying to get a really good spread here as best he can. In fact, he might even be taking troopers round onto the other side to try and get a bit of a flank on this. Look at this big concave we've got. We're able to use this big spread. Beautiful zoom that we're able to do. ZeroSpace thinking about its replays. If the textures do look a bit weird. As the spike tries to come in, he gets a big attack, but look at the number of troops on this side has just shred through all of it on this side. This attack on the north side is doing well. The turrets are down here. It is going to take a lot of the fire from that thing. Remember, this turret is free, so he's not super concerned about it. That is a shield. The shield on the Perfect Aster is going to fall. This fight on this far side has pretty much immediately fallen. He isn't even going to be able to pick off a truth. The R&D that he was attempting to get so, and that fight is completely crushed, and that will be GG, game number 3, going the way of Bosse, 3-0 up in this series. What a play. And then you have it. That was the full best of 5 set. Now, I understand that that was mostly just the same attack happening over and over, but that is sort of the meta at the moment in ZeroSpace. You wanted to know where the meta's at, and that's kind of it at the moment. Strong timing attacks always take precedence when the game is so fresh and so new before players really learn how to defend and hold those attacks. And that's really what we saw in Stormgate as well. If you're here and you haven't played Stormgate and haven't seen how the meta developed over there, dog rushes, hedgehog rushes were like dominant for ages, and that's kind of how it goes really early on in metas. We will see it stabilize, I have no doubt in that, as the numbers get tweaked over time. If you enjoyed today's content, please make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be doing another video on ZeroSpace following up from this. Going to be looking at the Galactic War, or Galactic Map, which is the sort of PvE mode, which, yeah, I had a great fun playing around with, and definitely will be looking into more of the RTS stuff that comes up. We've got Stormgate, ZeroSpace, Battle Aces, and various other ones that are coming out. It's a great time to be an RTS fan, so make sure you stick around. I've been Bandanity. Thank you very much. Catch you later.